All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to my sports channel, TMossBoss Talk Sports. And in today's video, I wanted to talk on this. It wasn't no clip; it was actually a 7 minute video. I was thinking it was gonna be a clip, but yeah, Kenyon Martin. This is my first time seeing anything's Kenyon Martin related. So I know people are like, "Oh, you ain't really a sports guy like that if you don't know who Kenyon Martin is." I guess not. Like people sit here and want to argue with me and stuff. I'm like, look, man, I had to say like there's a lot of areas of sports that I have been trying to like slowly get myself into, but it's like I'm trying to get myself into all areas of sports. So not just, strictly just basketball, like all different types of sports and stuff. So forgive me for not knowing. All right. There's a lot of people out there I don't know. All right. Don't be upset at me over it. But no, anyways, so for those that don't know what's going on, so I guess to kind of give a brief origin story, Kenyon Martin has a stuttering or a speech impediment. And yeah, it's one of those things where I went to school with kid, and I'm not trying to say like he's out of pocket. Like that's the thing. I guess like there's just going to be certain things about a person that's going to affect them differently than the next person. So another person I know when I was growing up, I wouldn't really say it was a speech impediment, but I did have a little bit of a speech problem because my there was like some skin that was holding my like tongue down, so I couldn't. There was like certain words that started with an R or had an R in it, and I couldn't say it right because yeah, my tongue it couldn't lift up. So instead, I was like, fam, I couldn't even say my own name, Tyler. Like I'm over here saying like Tyler or what else? Like if I'm saying road, I'm saying woad. If I'm trying to think what are some other words? Like there's a lot of words out there that had either an R in the beginning of it or an R somewhere in the middle, and I couldn't say it. So yeah, there's just some words out there. So I had to say I had a little bit of a speech problem. So I can partially relate. But and I mean, I don't know, like I don't really remember too many people making fun of me, like of the speech problem and stuff. Like I just remember it was brought up, and then yeah, I hurry up, got surgery, and I don't even think nobody didn't really notice. Like I think that's like one thing that a lot of people just didn't really pay attention and stuff. So they just didn't pay attention to my speech problem. Yeah, because I was like, I still made friends, I still was cool with people. If anything's, I think if people needed a little bit of clarification and stuff on something that I said, then yeah, if I'm spelling out my name and I'm like Tyle and they are like, what? Like I'm like like it's so I guess like over the years, and I just think that because I'm again not trying to say like this is how Kenyon Martin needs to act, but it's one of those things where it's like you just kind of get used to it. But and that's one thing about it too, where it's like if you're on, I think if I probably would have gotten involved in the internet at the time when I did have this, because I was a kid when I had discovered that. I was in middle school when I discovered there was like this, like piece of like it was this skin that was just holding my tongue down. And there was actually there was this one girl that I was cool with at the time. She also had the same thing. So it wasn't like no, it was a rare thing, but there was people that did have it, and I'm pretty sure there'd probably be a lot of people out there that know what I'm talking about. You might have a family that has it, or you might have it. But overall, though, I guess yeah, it was something where at the time because I'm trying to think, it was really only my family that knew about it because they knew I had to get surgery to get the like the piece of my that skin. Like it was, I think they used like it was a laser. They used something to like just pretty much like get rid of it and stuff. And yeah, then afterwards I did have to go to some speech classes. I had to, pretty much work on my speech. It was a process, it was definitely a process. But by the time I had to say I got out of middle school, I think it was even that. I think it was long before. I think it was still within that same year. I just had to. It was like once a week. I went to a speech class, and they had like a speech. There was a speech teacher at that school, and yeah, shout out to her. I ain't gonna say her name, but I'll at least say the first initial, Miss H. Shout out to Miss H because yeah, she came through. She was definitely somebody where I'm like, nah, if it wasn't for her, I don't know where I probably would have had to just learn it on my own, and that probably would have taken a lot longer. But no, she had me like say words, she had me, say whole sentences and all that stuff. So But overall though, and it seems like with Kenyon Martin that even when just watching that 7 minute clip that it's better now. And I'm pretty sure he has his moments where he'll, stand out and all that stuff. But overall though, I feel like that what needs to be talked about is the video. I feel like I was just kind of like ranting and rumbling about some, just a bunch of different, I guess like just to, let y'all know where I'm coming from in this whole thing, so I can, like I said, I can partially relate to him. But and I know people probably ask, like, how would that make me feel if somebody was making fun of me? And I'm trying to think. I'm like, I think my family, they were kind of talking about it. I wouldn't necessarily say they were making fun of me, but they were just pointing out that there were certain words that I couldn't say, So I wouldn't necessarily say it was in malicious, it was, yeah, malicious intents to make fun of me. But yeah, I just think that, yeah, they were just pointing it out. They was like, oh yeah, you definitely couldn't say that word. You definitely couldn't. So I don't know. I guess like if you get exposed to it a lot, not so much of like people making fun of you, but and that's the thing. I really don't know how to like place it like the situation where it's like, if it's friends, because I feel like a lot of people would look at it being all like them ain't your real friends if they sitting around making fun of you and things. But I feel like maybe if that's your guys' sense of humor, then it could be justified. It could be justifiable, fun making and stuff. But overall though, this is somebody that I don't really know. And I think that, yeah, when you're doing it, if you're doing it behind closed doors and not when the person is there, then I think that's why Kenyon Martin reacted the way that he did, because it was like there was no reason to do that, making fun of him and stuff. Like I don't know. Like I don't have a reason to talk about people behind their backs, like unless it's something that I know I would say to their face. So I'm trying to think, like, if it's something making fun, like, oh, I guess like if it's something where I know that if I know that they get offended by it, then I ain't even gonna talk on it, whether behind their back or in front of their face. But let's say if it's something like, oh yeah, he got some big old feet, like he gotta go to the big and tall store. I'm like, it ain't just no, like you gotta go to like the 3XL big and large store. But I'm like, but it's just overall like cracking jokes. But if they were to like confront me and be all like, hey, I guess overall though, like yeah, if it went down along this lines, I think I don't know, talking on both ends, people are saying that Kenyon Martin should have handled it differently, but I think he was speaking out of a place of anger, because like he said, like people know that he has this speech impediment, and to turn around and go behind his back and make fun of him, then yeah, I felt like he had a justifiable reason to react the way that he reacted. People are saying that it should have happened behind closed doors, but he even said it himself in the video. It happened in public, so this confrontation is going to happen in public. I think if I was the should guy, I probably would have just walked off, because I'm like, okay, look, I apologize. If you don't want to accept my apology, I'll leave, but I'm not going to have it where somebody belittles me. So I feel like that yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, speaking of Kenyon Martin, you got to pick and choose like who you're going to be cool with, and kind of have to like know a little bit about them before you start inviting them over to your house and having them around your family and all of that, and putting money in their pocket, and then just talking towards the should guy and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you can't be sitting around making fun of your friends, because you really at the end of the day don't know who's watching. So yeah, it's one of those things where yeah, I don't know. Like I think that, Kenyon Martin, he's coming from a place of anger. The other guy, he just has to have like a little bit more respect, I think, for people's boundaries. Like if you see other people, I guess if you see other people making fun of it, the speech impediment and things, then it's like if I feel cool with you, I think I probably would have worded it like that, where it's like, okay, well, I just seen a bunch of other people, so I thought like we were cool, like we make fun of each other all the time. So like if that's a problem, then I'm like, all right, I won't cross that bridge no more and things. But I ain't gonna let you belittle me now. Like I'm like, no, it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, we can talk about this, properly. But if it's gonna be you belittling me, I'm like, nah, I'm not. It's one of those things. I guess like the times where people have tried to do that. I'm like, fam, you don't know me like that. Like I watched that video and I'm like, man, it was at a moment where I was all like, dang, because even Nick Young was there and he was all like, yeah, bro. He was like, just go get out of here. I can't even watch this no more. Like this is yeah, like first couple of minutes, okay, but now I then got to the point where I'm all like, yeah, he's going off on you, and you can't do nothing about it. I mean, you can't or you can, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you did kind of bring that on yourself. So, but yeah, I just think that I guess like people, they feel like that they're is any advice that needs to be given out to Kenyon Martin, I have to say, like, don't even allow stuff like that to upset you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I can't tell a person how to react to, because I know I've had my moments where I didn't reacted to certain things and stuff. So, but overall though, it's like, yeah, it gets to a point where you just gotta, like, yeah, cut people like that off and be all like, no, it's like I have no reasons to be cool with you. So you want to make fun of me behind my back is one thing if you're doing it in front of my face, and I feel like it could have been a conversation where the conversation would have been differently. But it's like, no, you want to do things behind my back, and it's like I think that's why it was a problem for Kenyon Martin and stuff. So, but yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like we all have our fair share of speech problems. I know people have tried to call me out on that type of stuff with content creating, and it's just one of those things where I'm all like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, if you want to sit around and make fun of me, trust me, it's gonna be something where people they pointed out about you, and then yeah, it's like, and I guess like you gotta ask yourself that question: how did that make you feel? So, but at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, like I say, he has his, I guess his reasons to react the way that he did. Because no, there actually was a video because this is trending, and so there was a video to show like how bad it was, his speech impediment, and yeah, over the years it seemed like it has gotten better and things, but overall though, it's like, yeah, it's just something that a person has to live with. So I guess like if you want to, I don't know, like just you gotta be respectful towards things like that. Because there's people that I known them for years. Like there's one of my friends where it's like still talk with them to this day, and he has a speech impediment. It's like stuttering, and no, yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, I see past that. I'm all like, if it's one of those things where he approaches me and he's all like, I don't know, like you ain't gonna really like go out your way and be all like, oh yeah, you can make fun of that and stuff. But I don't know, like I guess I don't know. Like I find other things to make fun of and stuff. I'm like, I'll like I guess like that's just where my sense of humor is at, where it's like I can, leave certain areas untouched and stuff. But yeah, let's say if we were roasting each other and he's all like, hey, you'd like the gloves is off. You can say whatever you want to talk about my speech and all that and stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, definitely. I'm like, so yeah, I'm like, now you just gave me like a whole new book of jokes. So, oh yeah, I'm about to go crazy with it. But I feel like that's like, just communication and letting people know like where your comfort level is at in certain things. So maybe it could have just been a warning. Who knows? Maybe one day they might be cool with each other. But yeah, the should guy, he might be all like, nah, you belittled me on this show. I don't want to talk with you ever again. Kenyon Martin might be like, nah, you made fun of my speech problem. And I told people about this numerous times. I don't never want to talk with you. So it might be best they just go their separate ways. If they find themselves being cool with each other at some point in time again, then all right, cool. But if not, then yeah, it might be for the best. But anyways, comment down below how you feel about the situation. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and peace.